people have an iPhone? How many people have an Amazon Echo? I bet about 85% of the people in the room spend a percentage of their time saying, "Hey Siri," or "Alexa, play," not knowing at all that they are experiencing a simple yet complex form of AI. Now, for the people in the room that do understand AI, I bet you have no idea just how far this technology has altered key career processes in the corporate world. Greetings, I am Brianna Odoms, a graduating accounting student at Florida A&M University from Jacksonville, Florida. Over the next few minutes, I will be giving you a basic understanding of what AI is and how, along with machine learning, it has enhanced and altered the audit and advisory process, and how the curriculum of accounting should change to combat the advancements in technology. The efficiency of the human alone has been enhanced through the discovery of AI. Now, let's backtrack for a second. What is AI? AI stands for Artificial Intelligence. The term was coined in 1956 by John McCarthy. It was defined as machines or programs that are able to perform a task. The concept, however, was introduced before this as different people studied the concept of a computer. Now, we further define AI as machines that are able to perform tasks that exhibit planning, learning, problem solving, and other behaviors that exhibit human intelligence. For the most part, we understand that computers is only as smart as the information that you provide. But AI allows us to take it further than that. An example of going above the standard is a development known as machine learning. Machine learning is the capability for a computer system to learn and understand through recognitions of patterns, deriving its own algorithms based off of the patterns, and refining those algorithms based off of feedback. Algorithms are sets of rules applied to calculations and problem solving. If you look at this chart, it provides a visual understanding of how machine learning and traditional programming differ. For a traditional system, you would enter in the input and the logic, and the computer would just give you an output. Whereas with machine learning, you were entering in an input and an output and letting the system come up with its own program or logic and understanding. This is an example of how it learns from experiences. The data presents an ending and a beginning, and the computer will be able to develop its own logic and explanation for future similar events. Now that we have an understanding of machine learning and AI, how does it relate to audit? When faced with an audit, the key functions is to analyze the risk that the financial statements carry a misstatement, whether due to fraud or just simply misstatement. In order to do this, auditors spend a lot of their time testing controls and pulling samples of different balances and transactions that have occurred or been totaled during a fiscal year. Sampling helps the auditors because they are pulling a selection of the financial statements and testing those sections. However, the analysis is only as accurate as the particular sample size. This means that they may give a clean opinion based off of this sample, when the misstatement occurred in a different area. When auditing with machine learning, the system introduced algorithms, the rules we mentioned earlier for calculations and problem solving, to help the system learn the transactions. Now that it knows the transactions, it is able to analyze the entire journal ledger and sum up the risk buckets from high to low risk. Now, instead of the auditors taking hours to days to fully understand a simple sample, they are able to fully understand an entire journal ledger in minutes. AI makes it possible for auditors to pull terms from contracts and leases as well. Now they're able to focus in on the actual information presented rather than the process of collecting key information from the leases and contracts. Other ways that auditors are using AI to enhance their audit is through drones. EY has been able to use drones to effectively analyze inventory on hand. The drones are able to go up and down the aisles of the client's warehouses and collect data on what inventory is present, how much inventory is present, and what inventory is missing. Having AI embedded in this software helps to analyze the risk of the inventory data, and it takes the auditor out of the process of collection again and allows them to focus on and analyzing the results. A lot of people are worried about the role of the auditor, being that AI now makes it possible for a lot of the auditing to be done through the computer. There are rumors of shortages in jobs and other issues. However, the position of the auditor will not disappear, but the functionality of the auditor will change. Since they are not focused in as much on gathering the information, they will be more focused on understanding the data and coming up with the conclusion. They will also have to understand the technology how the technology works and thinks to understand how it processes the data that it is producing. Now, let's talk about how AI relates to advisory services. But before we dig too deep in that, how many people actually know what advisory is? Not a lot, I'm assuming. Most people know that as an accountant, you do auditing and you do tax. But unless you are versed in public accounting realm, you don't quite know what advisory is. Well, advisory is when a financial advisor can help a company or a person of high wealth in the success of their business and investments. They help the client navigate the changes in the industry and the global environment by providing advice on their cash flows, wealth management, and capital information. An advisory service professional could also help companies establish internal controls and best practices. Now AI is growing and flourishing. It is being implemented in many different markets. An advisory professional is supposed to be able to keep up with the trends of the market and be able to successfully advise their clients in the right direction. Being that most clients are interested in AI now, advisors have to alter their knowledge to become versed in the system that is AI. Once they are versed in AI, they are able to effectively communicate what it is and how it works to their clients. Once they say how it works, they can help them implement it into their functions and help them decide which functionality of AI works best for their business and their industry. Now, you may be wondering, why is that important to know? Well, as the industry is changing and the process is changing, the expectation of the employer will change. The education and the requirements coming into the industry are going to require more knowledge of technology. So so that you can learn how to navigate and through this new process. This is because, as you can see, the focus will be less on if you know how to do the work and collect the data, but it will be more focused on your ability to understand and interpret the data through the use of this technology. The Certified Public Accounting exam is already changing in order to incorporate more technology standards. The CPA exam is being tailored to serve the clients with a growing technology and analytical focus. It would be wise to start understanding the changes now and preparing to study. Some things you will need to keep up with the changes are, one thing is thinking more than just the MAC program. After getting an initial accounting degree, a lot of people think that getting the Master's of Accounting is the next option in order to help them study for the CPA, because a lot of MAC programs are tailored for the CPA. However, it is helpful to understand that there are other options. Most states only require you to have 24 semester hours of accounting credits. So, as long as you get those credits and get your 150, you can explore other major options such as data analytics, information technology, or even an MBA with a concentration in data analytics. The goal is to get ahead of the curve and keep up with the trends. So incorporating understanding of technology early will lead to a successful navigation through an accounting career. Eventually, undergraduate studies will also be able to keep up with this trend. They will need to incorporate more information systems classes and introduce the concept of analyzing data into more of the accounting courses, like your entry-level courses, so that you're introduced to the concept early on. The goal is to work smarter, not harder, and understanding technology early will help you to navigate the industry, and AI is being integrated in more ways. So someone coming into the industry should take the precautions the precautions needed to succeed. Again, I am Brianna Odoms.